I'm going to show you everything you need to know to play Holy Paladin in Cataclysm Classic. For the stat priority, first and foremost, the top stat we are going to want is Intellect on all of our gear. This is going to be providing us with spell/healing power, a higher mana pool, as well as impacting some of our talents. After that, we're going to be going for Spirit and or Haste, and depending on how much you have of each, especially with Reforging now in the game, is going to depend on which one is actually higher for you. So to start with, Spirit is the de facto Cataclysm healer stat, massively increasing our mana regen, but Haste also plays a part as well. It's going to lower the cast time of our heals, which for Divine Light and Holy Light is going to be fantastic. And it's also going to help reduce the global cooldown on our spells, trying to get it to that coveted 1 second, really helping get out more instant spells as well. After that, Critical Strike just isn't quite as good as the other stats, and Mastery is going to be last. Our mastery is called Illuminated Healing, as we can see here. Your direct healing spells also place an Absorb shield on your target for 20% of the amount healed. That lasts 15 seconds, and each point of mastery increases the size of the Absorb shield by 1.05%. For the talents we're going to be using, it's no shocker that most of them are going into Holy. Let's have a look at them now. And if you aren't sure about any of the spells I'm referencing here, don't worry, because I'm going to go through the entire rotation and show you how these synergize in with it. Starting off at the top here, we've got Judgments of the Pure. Your Judgment increases your casting and melee haste by 9% for 1 minute, and your mana regen from Spirit while in combat by 30%. Therefore, that is one of the reasons where I said about talents impacting your Spirit massively. Judgment isn't innately a healing spell. It's this one here, unleashing the energy of your seal to judge an enemy for holy damage. But that, remember, is going to put on the Judgments of the Pure buff, like we just spoke about. Casting and melee speed increased by 9%, and mana regen massively increased as well. It also mentions that you're going to unleash the energy of your seal. So what seal are we going to be using as a Holy Paladin? You may or may not be aware that we actually have different seals we can use as a Holy Paladin. And we are going to be using this one here, the Seal of Insight, filling the Paladin with divine power for 30 minutes, giving each single target melee attack a chance to heal the Paladin and restore 4% of your base mana. Only one seal can be active at a time, and unleashing the seal's enemy will deal that holy damage to the enemy. So we are going to be doing some melee damage where possible, specifically with Crusader Strike here, an instant strike causing weapon damage and granting a charge of holy power. The main reason we're going to use Crusader Strike is for the seal we just referenced, and also for our holy power. If you don't know about holy power, you can see top left here that we have 3 potential holy power, and every time we use Crusader Strike, we're going to use one. We can then use that holy power on either Light of Dawn or Word of Glory to do healing. Light of Dawn is going to basically heal in a cone in front of us, dependent on how much holy power we're using, and Word of Glory is going to consume all holy power to heal a friendly target for 5,000 per charge of holy power. We've got Protector of the Innocent here. That's us, the Protector of the Innocent. Casting a targeted heal on your target, except yourself, also heals you as well. So whenever you heal somebody else with a direct spell, you're going to get some healing yourself received. We've got 1 point into Last Word, giving your Word of Glory, the one we've just spoken about, a 30% increased critical strike chance when used on targets at low health. Clarity of Purpose, reducing the casting time of some of our spells. Divine Favour, a big juicy cooldown I'm going to be talking you through in the rotation. The same with Beacon of Light and also Light of Dawn. I'm going to go through these 3 spells separately, along with Aura Mastery when we actually go through the rotation part. Infusion of Light increases the critical strike chance of your Holy Shock. In addition, your Holy Shock critical effects reduce the cast time of your next flash of light, Holy Light, Divine Light, or Holy Radiance spell. So we're going to be using Holy Shock quite a lot for that. We've got Speed of Light, granting 3% spell haste, woohoo for us. In addition, casting Divine Protection increases your movement speed by 60% for 4 seconds. Divine Protection is this over here on the right, reducing magical damage taken by 40% for 10 seconds. It is actually by default going to reduce physical damage, but we're using a glyph turning it into magical. Sacred Cleansing, your Cleanse Now spell also now dispels 1 magic effect. This is a spell we can use to cleanse a friendly target, removing a poison, disease, and now magic effect as well. We have Conviction, giving you a 3% bonus to damage and healing after causing a critical effect from a weapon swing. Again, using your Crusader Strike is going to help with that, and it can stack up to 3 times. Got 1 point into Enlightened Judgments, where grants hit rating equal to 50% of any spirit gained from items or effects. Basically, because we're a healer, we're generally not going to be going for hit rating, we're going for spirit. But because we are actually doing some melee attacks as a healer, as a Holy Paladin specifically, it would be useful to have some hit rating, getting that nearer to the cap. Therefore, Blizzard have put this talent in, meaning that we are going to actually get hit rating equal to 50% of our spirit, and alleviating that problem pretty much altogether. In addition, your judgment instantly heals you as well. So when we do actually use our judgment, we are actually also going to receive a small heal. Lastly, Paragon of Virtue, reducing the cooldown of Divine Protection by 30 seconds, Hand of Sacrifice and Avenging Wrath by 60 seconds. That's some of our cooldowns. Tower of Radiance, healing the target of your Beacon of Light with Thrash Heal or Light or Divine Light has a 100% chance to generate a charge of Holy Power. In addition, casting Holy Radiance will always generate 1 charge of Holy Power. So basically, we have this Beacon of Light here, and you can put this on someone. Generally, it's going to be the tank, where you can basically do all of your heals, and they're actually going to also heal this person as well. And lastly, we have Light of Dawn. We've also got a few talents in Protection and Retribution, 3 out of 3 into Divinity, increasing all healing effects done by you and on you by 6%, and Eternal Glory. Your Word of Glory has a 30% chance to not consume Holy Power, and that is this one here. So it's actually got a chance now to not consume any Holy Power when we use it. Lastly, Crusade and Improved Judgment. Improved Judgment increases the range of judgment. Crusade increases the damage of your Crusader Strike. That's the main melee attack I showed you. Hammer of the Righteous and Templar's Verdict by 30%, and the damage and healing of your Holy Shock by 30%. And when you do kill anyone, your next Holy Light will heal for an additional 300%. Swiftly moving on to the glyphs before we go over what spells we're using and why. We're going for our Seal of Insight glyph. While it's active, the effect of your healing spells is increased by 5%, another fantastic reason to use that seal. Divine Favour, increasing the duration of it, that's the cooldown. And Word of Glory, increasing the healing done by it. For the major glyphs, we have Protection, removing the physical damage and adding magic damage protection instead. And depending on what damage you're planning on taking sounds weird, but you know what I mean, then that's going to depend on if we're going to take that glyph or not for our Divine Protection spell. We have Glyph of Divinity. When you use Lay on Hands, you gain 10% of maximum mana. Lay on Hands is this cooldown here, where you can heal somebody for 100% of your health. Meaning if they've got 100k health, potentially, and you've got 200k, you're going to heal them for 200k. Of course, that will overheal, but I'm just trying to clarify, it's not 100% of their health, it's 100% of your health you're healing them for. And you will now also get some mana back because of the Glyph of Divinity glyph. Then we have the lastly major one, Glyph of Divine Plea. Your Divine Plea provides an additional 6% of your total mana. After that, we've just got some mana cost reduction glyphs on the minor one for Blessing of Kings, Might, and the Glyph of Insight for our Seal of Insight. Now that we're talking about the blessings, let's go over these. You can only have 1 per paladin on your party or raid. When you use either of these spells, it will actually affect the entire party or raid. Blessing of Might increases melee attack power by 20%, ranged attack power by 10%, and restores mana every 5 seconds for everyone. Whereas Blessings of Kings gives you resistances and increases strength, agility, stamina, and intellect by 5%. Again, that's on the entire party or raid. But you can only have 1 per paladin. If there's another paladin in the group, one of you should put on Might and one of you should put on Kings. We also have our auras. Generally, you're going to be going with a Devotion aura, adding armor to everyone because we are a healer, and therefore we want to reduce the damage taken by everyone. And other paladins can use their other ones as well. A Ret Paladin will be using Ret Aura. You, as a Holy, will be using your Devotion Aura. If there's a Protection Paladin in the group, then they might be using Devotion Aura, and therefore you could use maybe Resistance Aura if you're going to take Fire, Frost, or Shadow damage. If not, then really it's just going to be concentration on Crusader Aura, which aren't as useful. We also have our hands, Hand of Sacrifice, Hand of Freedom, Hand of Salvation, and Hand of Protection. Sacrifice basically transfers their damage to you. Salvation reduces the target member's threat. Freedom grants immunity to any movement impairing effects, etc. And Blessing of Protection is actually going to make them immune to all physical attacks, but they can't be targeted or attacked. And it will grant Forbearance, meaning they cannot be affected by Divine Shield, Hand of Protection, or Lay on Hands. Divine Shield is here, Lay on Hands is the big heal, and Hand of Protection is the one we just spoke about. You don't want to put it on a tank because they can't be attacked, and therefore they'll lose all threat, so do be careful of that. But you can use it to get out of some really interesting mechanics. oh god, they flew the mouse across the room. Divine Shield on a 5-minute cooldown protects you from all damage and spells for 8 seconds, but reduces damage you deal by 50%. And that's the other one that causes Forbearance. Now that we've looked at all that, how's it all going to come together into the actual rotation we're going to be using? First of all, if it's on the raid or the tank and they are requiring low to moderate healing, we can use Holy Light, healing a friendly target for 5,000 to 5,700 healing. It's a pretty simple spell, and I've been disconnected. Wasn't quite what I was expecting to say in that sentence. And it provides some really good procs from the Daybreak talent. Your Flash of Light, Holy Light, and Divine Light have a 20% chance to make your next Holy Shock not trigger a cooldown if used within 12 seconds. And you can see here, we have Daybreak. Your next Holy Shock will not trigger a cooldown. So when I use Holy Shock, we can use it again instantly. And Holy Light is a really good way of proccing that. And remember, this is low to moderate damage. Speaking of Holy Shock, it's a spell that blasts a target of holy energy, causing damage or healing, and grants a charge of holy power. So we're going to use that to do some low to moderate healing as well. Use it on cooldown to generate holy power. How are we going to spend our holy power? Either on Light of Dawn or Word of Glory. Light of Dawn consumes all holy power to send a wave of healing before you, healing up to 6 of the most injured targets in your party or raid within a 30-yard frontal cone. So if it's raid-wide healing or in a cone, etc., maybe in the melee, use your Light of Dawn. For healing one specific person, use Word of Glory, which is going to do a large amount of healing per charge of holy power to a specific target. And don't forget, we're going to be getting our holy power through Crusader Strike as well as our Holy Shock. This proc that you can now see here lighting up is our Infusion of Light. Reduces the cast time of your next Flash of Light, Holy Light, Divine Light, or Holy Radiance by 1.5 seconds. And you can see there our Flash of Light was nearly instant. And that's from this talent here. Increases the critical effect chance of your Holy Shock. In addition, your Holy Shock, the critical effects are going to reduce that cast time of everything by 1.5 seconds, which you could see them lighting up there. So that's how we're dealing with low to moderate damage. If there is moderate to high damage, specifically on a tank, we can use, or a single person, we can use Divine Light, a large heal that heals a friendly target for a big amount of healing, good for periods of heavy damage. Or if it's raid-wide, we can use Holy Radiance, imbues a friendly target with radiant energy, healing that target and all allies within 10 yards for X amount, and another amount every 0.9 seconds for 2.66 seconds. And this also grants a charge of holy power. Healing effectiveness diminishes on each player beyond 6 of them. It is quite mana intensive, and like I said, these two are for more high period times of damage. And if you need an emergency heal, it's going to be Flash of Light, a quick expendable heal at a high mana cost that will really drain your mana quickly, but does a fair amount of healing. Don't forget to put on your Beacon of Light to somebody, meaning that all of your heals on somebody else will also heal them. Don't forget to use Judgment every 1 minute, so you get the Judgments of the Pure buff. And don't forget to use your Crusader Strike as well to generate holy power and mana, etc. Apart from that, we just have our cooldowns. So just to recap, low to moderate healing, we can use Holy Light and use Holy Shock on cooldown, generating holy power. Use your Light of Dawn and Holy Word of Glory to spend your holy power depending on the situation. Moderate to high raid damage, use Holy Radiance. Moderate to high single target damage, use Divine Light. And a Flash of Light for emergency situations. Keep your Beacon of Light up on someone, ideally the tank. Don't forget to put your Seal of Insight on. Refresh your Judgment every minute. And use your Crusader Strike whenever possible. We have this first cooldown here, Avenging Wrath. Increases all damage and healing caused by 20% for 20 seconds. Massive increase to your healing there in high burst periods. We've also got Divine Favour. This is the talent that I didn't talk to you about earlier. Increases your spell casting haste by 20% and crit chance by 20% for 30 seconds. So it's going to increase your haste and spell crit massively for a short period. And lastly, Guardian of Ancient Kings. Summons a Guardian of Ancient Kings to protect you for 30 seconds. While active, your next 5 direct heals will cause the Guardian to heal the same target for the amount healed by your heal and friendly targets within 10 yards of the target for 10% of the amount healed. The only other one we need to talk about is Lay on Hands, but we have already discussed that one. That's pretty much it for the main rotation of Holy Paladin. Apart from that, there's just the consumables and things like that we need to look at, which, as you can see above my head and shoulders, there's a Head and Shoulders enchant from Mount Hyjal, and also Pharazane in Deepholm. If you can't yet get Exalted with Pharazane, there is a revered version of this, but these are fantastic enchants you should seek out. For the gems, I would advise the Brilliant Inferno Ruby, adding Intellect onto your red slot, the Reckless Ember Topaz on your yellow slot, and the Purified Demon's Eye, adding Intellect and Spirit on your blue slot. For the meta slot on your gems, I would go for the Burning Shadow Spirit Diamond, adding Intellect and increased crit effect. And for the professions, I advise Tailoring and Enchanting. They are all quite similar on the professions. If you want blacksmithing or something, that's fine. Or alchemy is another good choice, which increases the effect of your flask. But what I love about tailoring is this cloak enchant, Lightweave Embroidery, giving your spells a chance to massively increase your spell power. On enchanting, we can enchant our rings of spell power on each ring, adding 46 spell power. And the main weapon enchant you should use is Power Torrent, again giving you a massive chance to get more intellect. For the consumables you're going to be using, Flask of the Draconic Mind increases intellect, Mythical Mana Potion increases mana, and Potion of Concentration is a longer channeled mana potion, obviously restoring more, but do be careful, you do have to channel it and you are defenseless while that happens. Severed Sagefish Head adding intellect and stamina is your food choice, and if you do need a healing potion, which would probably not be used as a healer, you'll be using mana, but if you do, Mythical Healing Potion is the one to go with. And that is everything you should need to know to play Holy Paladin in Cataclysm Classic. If you do have any other questions or queries, feel free to join my Discord below, and me or another member of the community can help you out wherever needed. No question too big nor too small. If you would like to support the channel or get behind the scenes content, including written guides, etc., then please do consider joining my Patreon, where I have a lot of that as well, including LVUI profiles, like I said, written guides, behind the scenes blogs, and spreadsheets for WoW. It's also the main way you can support the channel, especially as everyone uses ad blocks, etc. these days, especially in gaming for a small channel like myself. And apart from that, if you are looking for other spec guides, whether it's a Paladin or other classes, check out this playlist here, where I have done all of them for you. And if you can't tell already, I've done so many, I am literally losing my voice. I think it's 31 specs I've done, and Holy Paladin is my second to last video, and I literally am losing my voice at this point. So thank you for watching, I do really appreciate it.